In this video I'll serve up some fun secrets, lore and fast boss kill tips for the OG Prison of Elders. With the renewed version coming up in Act 2 of Revenant, looking so similar this should actually make the new activity run faster and easier for you, especially for those of you that played it a few years ago and that need a refresher and new players running Tomb for the first time. In the OG prison, Varric started a prison riot and took the opportunity to escape the Woken, who were keen to keep him as warden of the prison due to the amount of secrets he knew. A single session consisted of 5 rounds of 3 waves each. Final round of the session is the boss battle. Players spawn in the airlock, a small central room that connects to the prison's 4 chambers, each home to one of the 4 enemy races, and here's some of the bosses you may get. How do you keep a species who can teleport through time and space in a prison on the reef? The answer is Qodron, being a Vex Gate Lord, imprisoned himself and its group of followers. In gameplay, Qodron's crit spot is in his chest and mainly uses a torch hammer to attack. However, it also uses detainment ability, which will detain all 3 guardians every 45 to 50 seconds. These detainment bubbles can be destroyed, but it takes a bit of firepower and your health will drain inside it. Keep an eye out for a goblin roaming around the area called Qodron's Eye. If you kill it, you get a jailbreaker buff, allowing you to destroy detainment bubbles more quickly. It's a short buff, so be quick. Qodron was one of the few inmates that volunteered to intern itself at the prison, gleaming insight into a glorious future for itself. He saw killing a light, maybe a guardian named Kate 6, that was destined to appear in the prison. Gulrot is actually the Norwegian for carrot, who's the only ogre boss in the Prison of Elders. It was the Worm Keepers who had created Gulrot Unclean, a group of very desperate wizards who lacked the resources to do a proper summoning, conjured this Hive ogre. As part of its imprisonment in the Prison of Elders, Gulrot and the Worm Keepers managed to get slaughtered by the Guardians who were seeking treasure originally. If Gulrot and the wizards return, remember that Gulrot literally wears his heart in his chest, and that's his weak spot, just like the weak spot of Fogoth in the summoning pits, making them the only ogres to have a crit spot on their chest. The key to taking down Kaliks in the original was to take out all of the roaming Archons first. Any Dreg Archon servants that are not killed within 30 seconds of appearing are consumed by Kaliks and restore all of its health. Ensuring that all or most Archon servants are killed is the key to bringing down Kaliks. Kaliks Reborn was a Prime Servitor, created by the House of Wolves to replace Kaliks Prime, the Prime Servitor of the House of Wolves. Built from scavenged parts of lesser servitors, Kaliks Reborn is intensely worshipped by other wolf inmates. Its fallen servants are so obsessed to the long-lost rule of Kaliks Prime, they would easily sacrifice their own ether to save Kaliks and see it continued. Due to some major betrayal at the hand of Varric, Skolas also took up residence in the prison for some time. Skolas, the Rabid, desperately tried for years to bring all the houses together under the One Kell of Kells banner, but in the end failed. He was betrayed by Varric and captured in the Cybele uprising and incarcerated in the Prison of Elders. In gameplay, he retains the teleportation and ground smash abilities, while also brandishing a hefty Scorch Cannon, which can easily 2-shot a Guardian at any range. He also keeps a few servitors around with him just to keep things spicy. Not only are there Hive ogres, but also a few Hive knights are found lurking in the prison in the guise of Urrox, Flame Prince, also known as the Scion of Oryx. Seeing that some similar buffs will return for this new version of the arena, I'll assume we'll see the return of Urrox's Searing Flames debuff against the Guardians. This debuff causes you to suffer damage if you're touching the floor. Patience was the ultimate key in fighting Urrox, and the best weapons to use were solar rocket launchers like Galley. Urrox's brood has long since perished, and he's on his own. He has a special ability where if he stomps the ground, the floor will cause solar damage to Guardians for 10 seconds. He's killed in the mission Prison of Elders Urrox Grudge, but when has that stopped Bungie from reusing characters? We just don't know who Urrox's original Hive brood were, but he may belong to the blood of Oryx, or the spawn of Trau'ug, because he has the title of Scion of Urrox. Given the fact that he was imprisoned by the Awoken, it's possible that Urrox was sent by Crota to establish control over the Kaliks space station and the Ascendant realm surrounding Ceres. Urrox bears a striking resemblance to Zulmak, Instrument of Torment, and Kandarak. The Cabal were represented by Valis Trau'ug, who once upon a time was the commander of a renegade group called the Broken Legion. Trau'ug originally wanted to attack the reef for some reason, and when he was denied by the Cabal High Command, he took it upon himself to take down his own officers, then go AWOL with a very direct attack on the reef. This earned him some prison time. We don't know how the Awoken in the reef took down Trau'ug, but all his skill and strategy and mental acuity were all intact as he lay there imprisoned. His custom-rigged shield randomizes and keeps attackers off guard as he pressed every advantage. When taking on this big Cabal, the trick is that he has a special ability where every 10 seconds after his shield is disabled, his shield regenerates to a new elemental type, so maybe take hard light or keep a stock of different elemental weapons that pack a punch with you. Other figures you might recognize from strikes and lost sectors haunting the tomb. If you look at the roster of prisoners in the original Prison of Elders, you'll low-key find the most variation of models of Vex, Fallen Hive, and Cabal used in lost sectors and strikes throughout the worlds of Destiny. You'll find some rogues like Civix, lost to none, who was the brother of Spider and leader of Kel's Scourge. He sought to plunder the forges and vaults of the Black Armory, which caused the mighty Ada I, his brother, and mutual guardian allies to rally upon him. Kurg, the all-seeing force, is a unique Cabal Centurion that featured as the main boss of the Pit, Lost Sector, and he also can be seen running around. The Arcane Mind was a Vex Major Hydra seen in the Cistern on Nessus as a free-roaming wanted target at one point. Episkeptis, the Uninvited, is a Vex Hydra seen in the Inverted Spire Strike, where it appeared as a wanted enemy at one point. Devourer Darg is a Colossus and the boss of Skydock 4, Lost Sector in the EDZ on Earth, after the Witch Queen Devourer Darg was renamed to a generic Ultra Colossus. Prison of Elders was Bungie's first experimentation with the arenas in the game, which I think spawned our current Battleground formats. Prison of Elders featured in Destiny 1, returned to Destiny 2, with the format being reintroduced again for episode Revenant. The OG prison was a massive complex in total, with 4 main prison blocks and a minimum of 54 floors. None of the main strike bosses we've encountered to date in Destiny 2 have been part of the Prison of Elders, but they all have amazing lore, secrets and histories. Do yourself a favour and check out this video about strike bosses coming up next.
Wow, this has just been such a pleasure. I'm such a lucky boy. I can't wait to go home